This is Wednesday morning, the 5th of October 2016. What I'm looking at here is I consider a navigation hazard. I consider it a public nuisance, a public hazard, where you're looking down in there that's over a foot deep. And as you can see, it's over 2 feet wide. Okay? This is a result of a pretty strong rainstorm. A 2-day rainstorm we had a month ago. We had 2 days of rain a month ago. And this location of this public hazard, what I consider a public hazard, its location is right at the end of an access easement. Right at the end of an access easement. That access easement is documented on the plat map. That access easement is maintained by the members of Sundance Active Adult. Those plants right there that you see along that easement, and that tree you see up there blocking the easement, that canopy that's hanging over, making it difficult for members of the community to use this easement. Now, because of the location of this public hazard right at the end of an access easement, I'm trying to get clarification. This is going on YouTube. Everybody in the country is going to see this. It's going to be tagged Sundance Active Adult, Buckeye, Arizona. It's going to be non-compliance and public hazards on access easements, and that's what it is. If somebody's coming down here at night and they haven't used this access easement in a while at night, they're going to come in. There's no light. Say we have an overcast sky, no full moon, it's dark, completely dark, and they haven't walked down here since it got carved. They're going to walk into that ditch and possibly break their neck. Now, to tell you where the location of this is, and the reason I'm so I need clarity from the board of directors and the HOA. When I called up Carolyn on Friday afternoon and told her there was 2 pieces of rebar put at the end of this easement to block anybody from the street coming in, and here are 2 rocks that Chuck, who is the one of your architectural people, and one of your policemen, what I call HOA policemen, came Sunday morning, and he hasn't removed these rocks, and he knows he's seen all summer long. This has been used all summer long. This easement has been used all summer long as a golf cart and pedestrian easement. And one thing is, this slope is totally out of compliance. Can you imagine anybody, a senior person that's 75 to 85, trying to walk off this slope down to the sidewalk? If this was a ski slope, it'd be a double black diamond. I watch women try to come off this hill, they sidestep off it. And the reason it is out of compliance is this whole bunch of material here is non-compliant to the grading map. It's compliant to the aftermarket map. See, we don't have an OEM situation here. This isn't an OEM part. This was an aftermarket part that they went out and hired Valley Crest to engineer them a drainage easement where they got to keep that stolen tee box. Now, I'm hoping to shame anybody that has anything to do with the golf course management, the HOA management. This is the tee box. Charlie Waters, 2 days ago, stepped off the tee box. I was over there on my property line making a video just like I am now. Charlie Waters walked off the tee box and didn't even see this. Charlie Waters has probably played 10 or 15 rounds of golf since this has been cut. Andy Lohman and Carlos, all of them. Now, what's happening here? I need somebody to make a call. as far as, this is my sole opinion, is that Dan Veskerna, who lives right there, who is a snowbird, and who put these rocks here without permission and put the steel rods up at the end without permission, it is my opinion that the HOA and the golf course is going to give him proxy authority to control this easement. Like we have 2 seasons. When you talk about the season, I heard one time at a meeting, everybody talks about the season here. The season is from like November to April or May. That's the season, and everybody talks about the season. Well, all summer long, it's been open season for anybody who lives in parcel 12 to use this, either to walk it or take a golf cart through it. As you can see, there's a worn down track where golf carts have used it all summer long. Now, Mr. Veskerna shows up at the beginning of what we consider your season, where you're going to make a lot of money, and just takes it upon himself to close this. What authority does he have? I'm asking you right now, openly on YouTube for everybody to see, so that anybody doesn't take this that I've accosted anybody. Like you said, I accosted Charlie Waters. I'm a little wound up, but I'm very passionate about this. You've all seen videos of Tract H. You've all seen videos of Tract H. It's wide open. It's got golf cart tracks all over it. And I have a picture of Tract H from 3 years ago, and they had a tree like that right next to Tract H. And it isn't there anymore. That video I sent you, look for the tree. It's not there. Why? Because this situation existed every time the golf carts wanted to use Tract H. The tree grew a canopy. This canopy and this tree were put here to stop people from walking here. Now, I've sent you videos of Tract H. It's going to be out on YouTube nationwide to see it. It's going to be tagged Sundance Active Adult. Here's another, what I call safety hazard. You see that right there? Let me get that. That is a piece of steel that's proud of the earth around it by about 1.5 inches. It was a post that was installed here when they filled this in 10 years ago, 12 years ago. It's still there. It hasn't been taken out of the ground. Can you imagine somebody at night walking down here in sandals, open-toed sandals, and they don't see this, and they do this right there with their toe. They're walking along, they hit that with their toe. This is another safety hazard. And the reason I'm such a safety freak is I worked for airlines in very dangerous situations where we had hydraulics, everything was hot and working and live. We had to have safety, 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 safety. Now, we need a ruling on this. My houses are down there, and I probably got fines waiting for me in the mailbox because I didn't make the 28th, the September 28th deadline for response. But here's my response. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Veskerna put those in right after the policeman made him take the rods out. So he never had permission to put them in. They're out of compliance. And for the world to see, I'm telling everybody out in YouTube land that this is what happens when you get in an HOA, when you got people like living in that house that don't want to share this. The man, when he comes here and he puts rod here, says, we want you to water our plants, we want you to pay for the landscaping of our plants because you're all members of the community, but we're not going to share this with you. We don't want to share this common area with you. This is a common area. It's owned by the access. It's owned by the HOA. And I've only started to make videos. I got 5 minutes left. I'm going to walk past my home now. This is, I want to remind you, per the documents, per the plan, per the grading map, the original grading map, not that aftermarket deal you put together with Valley Crest. That was pure aftermarket. You got a Mercedes here and you go out and put aftermarket parts on it. You didn't go OEM. If this was OEM, if this was an OEM installation in Sundance Active Adult, per all the paperwork, like tracked H's, we'd have a dropping, hard packed, much wider, much well-defined, much more defined, with no trees or canopies overhanging it to stop people from going. Those two rocks that you see out at the end, Chuck hasn't seen those rocks all summer. When he came, Chuck was standing right here with a wheel. You see that paint there? Chuck put that there. He was measuring something and marking it the other day. So Chuck knows this is out of compliance. Chuck knows he put it there without permission. And I want to see that when you get in an architectural meeting, the person that put it there, the guy that lives here, gets a letter for doing that. Now I'm going to walk by my house, and I'm going to talk about the arrest. Since my arrest, on an outstanding warrant that I never got served on, I got sucker punched by the Veskernas, the town of Buckeye, the HOA. I don't see how you can say it any other way. They didn't like what I do. Here you go. There's a ball that came from that fairway. Oh, another thing I want to explain to you. This street right here, just on the other side of those houses, is the 5th fairway. So anything that's hit off the 5th fairway hits the street and into this house. But to talk about, get back to the arrest. Before the arrest, I was the ambassador for Arizona. My friends aren't rich. If my friends come here and in the total package with the airfare and a week here, they spend $4,000, that's a big deal for my friends. And before I was arrested, when I was fat, dumb, and happy, and then I didn't realize what took place over here, I didn't realize it was a drainage easement. I was fat, dumb, and happy. I would bring in probably 4 groups a year of people that all they wanted to do was come here and spend their money in Arizona. And during that time, I was playing golf all the time. I was probably throwing $300 a week at golf here at Sundance. Between the greens fees and the restaurant tab at the Crooked Putter, it was up to $250, $300 a week I spent on golf. I had it, I spend it. I don't invite people to Arizona anymore. That $10,000 or 12 or 15 that used to come into the state in airfare, and then when they got there, the guy wanted to play golf every day, so we drove around the state, and we played most of our golf here at Sundance. That'll never happen again. Since the day I've been arrested, I've never bought a greens fee at Sundance, and I never will. I never will. And I had a bad hip. While I play in a lot, I couldn't be an effective golfer unless I went to the range and hit about 10 buckets a week. If I hit 10 buckets of balls a week, I could have a decent game. If I didn't, I'm not a natural ball striker. So anyway, I wore out my left hip. My left hip is shot. Since I haven't paid and I don't play golf. Not only do I not give Sundance any golf money or greens fees, I don't give anywhere in the state any greens fees. Because I know what the golf industry did to me in the state. The golf industry that was supposed to build that as an access easement and a drain, they pulled little shenanigans over in the sales office. This was a sales office sideshow that took place over here. We're going to take that out of service. We're going to defeat the drain. We're going to steal the tee, and we're going to put these people on welfare for the rest of their life.